Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a controversial view. Today, we're going to be talking about Blood for Dracula. Now, Blood for Dracula, my history with this film is pretty much non existent. I didn't grow up watching these movies like Joe did. As a matter of fact, before Severin and Vinegar Syndrome decided they were going to release each edition, pardon me. Of course, Severin released Blood for Dracula, and Vinegar Syndrome released Flesh for Frankenstein, which is actually a video nasty, and I'll get to that. I was going to actually buy the two as a pair because I had a friend who was selling them. Well, didn't work out for me so well. I didn't want to spend $45 a piece for them, so I kind of just let them go. And they weren't the Criterions either. So, yeah, I decided not to. And sure enough, Severin ended up putting out this beautiful edition, and Vinegar Syndrome put out their beautiful edition of Flesh for Frankenstein, which, as I said before, is a video nasty. Now, the controversy behind this film. They were both filmed around the same time. They both had gotten an X rating, and yet only Flesh for Frankenstein made it onto the video nasties. And that's very odd because this movie ended up getting banned later, but it was never really given that title of a video nasty. I know this film was banned until 1995, I believe, in the UK, but it's just weird, and it just kind of goes to show they really didn't know what they were doing because, you're going to ban one film and not the other one because they kind of go as a pair and they kind of have a lot of the same types of material in them. So why one and not the other? I don't know. Anyway, that's not the only controversy. Most of the controversy regarding this is behind the scenes and the subject matter. So we'll go behind the scenes, and Udo Kier, who plays Dracula, lost 20 pounds in 1 week in order to play this role. The only problem was when he went to shoot, after losing that 20 pounds, he was so weak that he could barely stand. But it did lend itself to the overall look and feel of this Dracula. This is a very different type of Dracula. This is a Dracula that can go out during the daylight. Of course, some of the tropes still carry it over. Of course, you had the garlic, you had the stake through the heart, and the religious sort of connotations that go along with Dracula. But like I said, he could go out during the daytime, and they changed the way he feeds. Of course, it had to be the blood of a virgin, which I thought was very interesting because it made things very difficult, even at that time, for Dracula. Also, they did use clothes from original clothes and had to be very careful with them because they were actual historic articles. But the main controversy, I think, comes in form of the actual subject matter, not just the whole virgin part of the Dracula lore, but the fact of the hero who deflowered 2 out of the 4 sisters, and goes on to deflower the youngest one, who was 15, just so she couldn't be um, taken by Dracula. It's the our hero, if you want to call him that, in this piece, is not exactly someone you root for. He's very rough with women. He's very callous. He smacks them and beats them, but yet he is kind of the hero in the story. He is the one who eventually figures out what's going on. So this movie has a very odd tone, but I'm going to tell you something. I've watched this twice now and Flesh for Frankenstein twice now. And they are fantastic films. I was never really interested in watching them until my friend had them for sale. Andy Warhol just didn't really do anything for me. And, I thought that they were going to be weird. And yes, they are a little wacky, as my friend Slim would say, especially Flesh for Frankenstein is definitely a little wacky. But, I do like these films a lot. I think they have a lot of substance to them. And they're really fun. So, if you're not going to check this out, definitely check out Joe's controversial view for Blood for Dracula. Remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time.